And there are a lot of common ground when you compare the religious aspect of tzedakah in the Jewish law. Even we say if tzedakah, according to the Jewish law, is something that you give voluntarily, but if you don't give voluntarily, we enforce you to make tzedakah in Hebrew. So it's very, very similar. And I don't think I should go into this comparison, but it's fascinating, and thank you very much for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
One, I'm afraid, very technical question. Is under the Islamic countries system, when you pay El Sadat, is it deductible against the income tax?
This is an important question. Well, for example, in Malaysia, in order to emphasize people to pay a zakat, whatever amount they pay as zakat, they will be deductible from the taxes. So this means as if he has paid nothing for a zakat. So this is, some countries are implementing such policy, and it's very worse policy. But not all.
So then you have to collect receipts.
Yes.
Sure.
In Jordan, this
Yeah.
Jordan, if you pay the zakat, for example, to the zakat payer of Jordan, and you get the receipt, they deduct it from your
That's right.
zakat. And if you pay it to charities, and they get the receipt, and whatever evidence to the tax authority, they accept it and they deduct from your.
So it's again very similar to the charitable deduction that we all have in our system, right? Because and the last comment, which is very general, if you forgive me, the possibility to amend the law. As far as I understand, and I studied it a little bit, one of what I consider the problem with the modern Islam is the fatwa that was decided, I think, in the 11th or 12th century, because at that time, Judaism and Christianity decided for reform within the religion.
For reform?
For reforms.
Yeah.
At the same time, at the same era, Islam decided the opposite way, which means no more reform, everything should be within the Quran, and nobody has the authority to change it. And I guess I detected this issue when you say that there is no way to change the
No, I'll tell you, in Islam there is something called analogical reasoning or extrapolation. Each year, the King of Jordan, each year they make an annual meeting of Islamic scholars in order to discuss the issue of al-zakat, especially made for al-zakat. And any, for example, the 8 disbursement categories that you have here, the explanation or the interpretation of such categories are somehow made according to what contemporary needs, what we need now. So they agree on some amendments and they will imply it. So it's not born like this, no. So it's possible through analogical reasoning to make some reforms about al-zakat, especially something which is good for the community.
The decision you talk about is called about ijtihad.
Ijtihad, that's it.
At that time, at the end of the Islamic State, let's say, there is no one methodology of Islam divided, and we have a lot of scholars. Each scholar say something different from others. So the Muslim community at that time decided not to open the ijtihad, implementation, implementation of the reform, something like interpretation of Islamic rules again. We shall keep in the main sources, Sunnah and the Quran. This is the point is about the ijtihad, not about it.
Thank you.
I didn't understand properly. Who issues the how do you control
Sorry?
the payment? How do you control the payment?
The zakat collectors.
Yes.
The zakat collectors are people should collect the money of zakat from the people. They are the government will decide who are the people who should go. They are clerks. They go to collect a zakat.
And if they pay directly to the receptor? Because you said there was also this possibility, no?
There are two possibilities. Either the zakat collection to be paid to the government, or if not to the government, it can be paid directly to the reception. For example, now we have a lot of Islamic government which are not applying Islamic rules, Islamic Sharia. So in this case, and also it was a decision of the Islamic scholars, in this case, people can pay directly what they have to pay as zakat directly to the recipients that they see they are convinced they should take such zakat. And this sometimes, sometimes maybe you don't have full confidence in the government that what you will pay will go to the right reception. So you have the freedom to pay directly to the person you see in need, and especially in Islam, to your relatives who are in need. Man, you have to start with your relatives, neighbors, and after with the foreigners. Yes.
Well, this is the same.
Okay. I'm interested. What was first, standard taxation or al-zakat? Underlie my question is perhaps al-zakat was first because as first it functioned it had functioned as first form of taxation, perhaps.
You mean which is first, zakat or taxation?
Yes.
And in Islamic government, sure, we started with al-zakat, and it's very well known that whenever al-zakat fulfill its target, it means there is no needy people, no poor people, no more people. There is no need to apply taxation. But in case zakat is not applied, there is no problem that the government applies taxation. So we start first with zakat because zakat is a completely independent procedure from the government, and moreover it will help the government whenever zakat is very well implemented and you are paying to such aid disbursement categories which are they are the people, they are the maybe most of the problems are from such categories. So whenever you zakat is very well applied, you don't need to apply or to levy more taxation. But in case zakat is not enough, zakat proceeds are not enough, or zakat is not very well implemented. Unfortunately, most of the countries now they are not very well implementing zakat. So the government has the right to apply taxation, but at the condition that it is well applied. Okay, there is no loopholes.
What was the rate, or if I
Yes.
may say so, of zakat evaders? Is there that phenomenon in Islamic world, or?
Well, zakat evaders, if they have to pay as zakat, as I told you, maybe nobody will punish them during this. But if they are Muslims and they believe in Islam and they believe in the after, so they will be punished in the day after. So this, the main issue in al-zakat is moral and spiritual impact on the person, because if he believes in his religion, if he believes in God, well, he has to apply what God has imposed on him, because God has created him and he knows better what he should do and what he should not do. So that's why when there is a strong belief, there is no need for any punishment. He has to pay whatever he has to
Moral
pay.
obligation.
Yeah, this is moral obligation. This is very important also in the contemporary taxation. Whenever there is a moral obligation, for example, there will be no bribery, no other the example I have given you. No moral obligation, okay, forget it.
But
They want money.
So I mean, I understand the moral. The
Yes.
question still remains: do you have any idea whether people do pay? Are you saying everybody pays?
No. I tell you, there are people who are very well calculating their zakats, but in general, unfortunately, as I told you, there are many Muslims there that do not know how to calculate zakat. That's why uh,